We live. Yes, we is. All right. Let's wind some tuppies up here and get some things going. And let's start bringing it all together. See what we have. Such a lovely morning here in the beautiful wet coast of Canada.
Oddly warm, actually.
Yeah, it's a lovely 13 degrees out there.
I'm used to this time of year being a wee bit more chilly, actually.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it usually is a little chillier. Keep talking.
Although out in my area, I can smell the snow. I'm pretty sure it's just the wind coming down off the mountains, but Jack Frost has been dancing up a storm across everyone's lawns in my area. I don't know, do you have any frost in your area right now?
No, it doesn't freeze down here by the waterfront too often.
Yeah.
When it freezes here, everyone else is buried in snow.
That is true. And a very good point.
That's the problems of it all.
Hey, what do you think is going to happen with Halloween?
Halloween? I have no idea.
I've been hearing people like in my area talking about how they're going to have this giant bowl of candy out there and having to figure out how to fit the mask into their Halloween costumes and how they're going to stay 6 feet away but still do trick or treat. And I don't even know. Like, I'm going to take the kids trick or treating.
Oh, good luck with that.
But I don't know what's going to happen.
Send them to the door and say, give me candy.
That's essentially what's going to happen, yeah. And I don't go up to the door with them. Too old for that.
Yeah. Well, you know, dress up. I'm sure that they'll give you candy. So what else do we have going on here? Yeah, I have no idea how Halloween's going to work. I'm not overly concerned with it this year. My boys are off with their mother, so not my problem this year.
Well, originally Ivy was gonna be going out and doing her thing with her friend, but her friend's not allowed to go trick-or-treating now.
Oh, well, you know.
So
There are some parents that are overly paranoid still.
yeah, a lot of people are homeschooling because they're afraid of the COVID.
Oh, yeah. COVID's going to get you, the most intelligent disease ever created. Hell, it can tell time. It knows how many people you have with you. The moment you go one over the limit, man, all of a sudden it attacks.
And my favorite, the antibacterial stuff is what kills this virus.
Oh, yeah. Antibacterial kills a virus. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let's use antibacterial stuff on our hands to kill a virus.
Yeah, that one is just awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the most intelligent virus ever leashed upon mankind.
Or would the antibacterial stuff working on them make it the stupidest virus ever alive?
Not a virus. You get some really crazy bacteria. What we're doing is we're creating super bacteria right now.
Ah.
The viruses aren't impacted by antibacterials.
That's my whole point.
They only work with antiviral stuff. There's not a lot of antivirals available.
So if we're creating a whole bunch of super bacterials, population control.
What's that MERS bacteria they have in hospitals? It's the super bug that shuts down entire floors and wings of hospitals every once in a while.
I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called now. My ex, who's a nurse, she used to. It would happen on her floor once, I think, when she worked on a different floor than she does now. They had to shut down the entire wing and do a complete super clean of that wing because of the outbreak of I can't remember the name of the bacteria, but it's one of those super bugs that most of our antibiotics don't work on. And they're rampant in hospitals, and they've come into existence because of our overuse of antibacterials. You know, I remember the craze. What was it, about 20 years ago or so? Everything had antibacterial coated toys, antibacterial this, antibacterial that, and I looked at it and said, "You guys are nuts. All you're doing is making yourself sick." And people laughed at me. They thought, "Oh, you don't understand science." I said, "No, I understand common sense." But then, of course, 10, 15 years later, they suddenly came out with news. Our overuse of antibacterial stuff is causing us problems. Yep. Well, duh. You know, it's so insane.
What's that poster? Do bugs need drugs?
Yes, bugs need drugs, just like humans. Humans need drugs. All of us want drugs. More drugs for everybody. Yay.
Well, get everyone to be a pill popper and you have total control.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, it looks like we've got everything dialed in.
Excellent.
I think it is time for some good music and bad singing.
Always good combo.
Oh, excellent. I love my singing. Nobody else does, but I do. So off we go. Let's carry this to the wire here.
Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49.
Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. That's better.
Not saying they are the answer, not saying
we lost
they're
the
right or
entire
wrong.
channel.
I ain't no Texan dancer, Lord knows where I belong. Went
Holy,
missing
what happened there?
down Highway 49.
Holy.
Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time.
That's weird.
Chucky and the Chigger just seen who done the crime.
We lost a half a channel
Captain
there.
pulled the trigger, guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, is he yours or is he mine?
Definitely mine. Uh-oh. That's weird. Haha. I think I got a problem with my mixer.
Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In our search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. We're missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devil's at a crossroads, Joker's doing fine.
The vocals are getting lost.
Doing
But
time.
when it's centered, the vocals are getting lost. You don't hear the vocals disappear? Or is it just me? Never mind. Well, we may have a problem. I'm sure it'll work out fine for the show itself, though. Let's get some testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check. All right, let me have you chattel there for a second, Amber.
Just to check it out, see how it's doing.
Yeah, well, we got the vocals. Let's see if we get the...
Squirrel!
Yeah, that sounds off. It was all of a sudden, it just started acting really weird.
Are you sure it's not just your headphones? Because it sounded fine to me.
No, it could be in my headphones. Could very well be my headphones. I have some problems with my headphones. Oh, we'll carry on. Get on with the show. It's one of those days. Everything else is working fine. Let's take this bloody thing live and go have ourselves a crazy good time. It is time to wind this puppy up and get it off and a-running. Rolling Bones. It's episode 483 with plugins for images, delivery dates, gifts, partial payments, favorite boxes, barcodes, and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z.
WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress Plugins from A to Z.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, where I'm waving my magic wand to make everything work. I am John Overall, and with me is
Amber overall.
And we're here to give you a great, lovely show as usual. But of course, right off the top, before we get too far started into it, you will want to hang around at the end of the show for our segment with Amber. It's a question and answer segment. And for those listening to the podcast, you may want to check out to the YouTube version, which also has some great discussions before the show starts and the rest of the Q&A session, which is split into two pieces. We do like to give great appreciation out to the No Agenda Show for their inspiration of ideas and the occasional stolen sound clip.
Squirrel!
Although we have some really cool sound clips of our own coming our way for the rest of the show. Thank you very much, Charlie. We greatly appreciate it. We'll start with this lovely one.
It's time for WordPress Plugins A to Z. Whatever Z is.
Nice.
So we'd love to see more sound clips of our own so that we make this show more ours than it is stolen from other sources.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah, little by little, it's starting to come around. So, of course, getting off the show, this show is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. It is number 42 of 51 episodes for 2020. It's episode 483, and we are now only 9 weeks from the end of the year. And the show is definitely moving in new directions and becoming a little more inspiring than it was at the beginning of the year. We are 43 weeks into 2020 and 32 weeks of the Rona. I still find it hard to believe they're still cramming that crap down our throats. But I guess they need to keep us, the poor sheeple, scared for the great reset that is upon us. If you want your life and sanity back, now's the time to turn away from social media and the M5M that is tearing your heart out and your soul and everything else. Claim back your sanity and your life. Go out into the real world without a useless paper mask. Meet and talk to real humans. Relax and do not be afraid. Find yourself an oasis like the one at the Rogues Tavern where you can check out from the world, unplug, recharge your soul, heal your soul in a few short weeks simply by minimizing or eliminating your M5M exposure. Stop using face crack. Make your own little part of the world a little better place to be. Inspire the others around you to do exactly that. Don't worry about the things you can't control. Stop accepting and doing the things that are not in your best interest. Work in your best interest while at the same time respecting and helping others. The rewards are definitely going to follow. Now, we're going to switch this up just a little bit. We have a new jingle for our news.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! Thank you. And now the WordPress news with John Overall.
Absolutely. I kind of like that one. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
All right, so we do have news this week. Let's roll right into the news. First off, for those of you who are developers out there, this is something you're going to want to pay particular attention to. And that is that PHP 8 is coming down the pike. It is set to be released next month. There's an article here from Yoast, developer portal, and it talks about the PHP and WordPress, PHP 8 and WordPress compatibility and the issues that are going to be faced in it. This is a pretty long, lengthy report. I'm not a developer. I just scanned through this to get a vague notion of what's coming down, and it does not look like fun. It's going to be entertaining and interesting. We're going to see plugins falling by the wayside in mass amounts. PHP 8 is eliminating numerous depreciated calls in PHP. and it's a lot. It's really going to make a change on the face of development in the next year as everything starts to move towards PHP 8. It's kind of reminiscent of when we went from PHP 4 to PHP 5. It was a big mess. So if you're a developer, you will want to take a look at this and get yourself up to speed, because even though you don't have to deal with PHP 8 yet, in about a year or so, you're going to have to. So you'll want to get ahead of it. Believe it or not, a year comes pretty fast. It doesn't seem like that long ago that this year began, even with all of the insanity that's been involved in it. It's almost over, folks. We're winding it down. Okay.
Wasn't there a problem going from PHP 6 to 7?
No, PHP 6 was completely skipped.
Oh, okay. So
They went from 5 straight to 7.
okay, well, was there a major problem then too?
Yep, there was problems then, but not as many problems.
Why not? I wonder.
They kept more depreciated calls in PHP 7 than they did when they went from 4 to 5.
Oh, I understand. Okay, so they're trying to make it all new and shiny.
Yeah, new and shiny, and things that they said are being depreciated. In other words, they're getting rid of these things.
Yeah.
They're not going to keep them. More stuff is being dumped from PHP 8.
It's like everything
Backwards compatibility.
It's like everything is becoming a IKEA.
Mm-hmm.
New and shiny. Get ready for it to break.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's the way it is out there in developer world. Okay, the next one I have for you here is the vulnerability roundup part 2. I must have missed part 1 at the earlier of the month, but there's a link here to part 1 in the show notes or here in this thing here. And this is the themes.com listing of plugins and other issues out there, talking about plugins that have problems that haven't been solved yet. Like if you use a plugin called Quick Chat, which I've never heard of, you better get rid of it quickly. It needs a fix and it hasn't been fixed yet. Another one is Realia. These names are just insane to me.
Realia, maybe?
Realia, whatever. Anyway, you got Helios Studios brand logo slider. So these ones here haven't been fixed, but there's also a list of other ones in here that have been fixed, and then they talk about theme issues and vulnerabilities. So this is something you'll want to subscribe to if you want to try and stay a little bit ahead of the curve of developments instead of waiting for people to let you know what's wrong with your sites.
I really like these lists.
Yeah, well, they're useful from time to time. Okay, the next one I got here for you, this is an article on nailing the first-time user experience, and this is in particular geared towards plugin and theme developers. And this is something I definitely get on board with, and that is the first-time user experience for a plugin or a theme. In other words, a standard user loads it up, activates it, goes to use it. What happens? Do they have to hunt through their menu in the left-hand column to figure out where your admin's at, or do you have something in there that auto redirects them to that dashboard the moment you activate it, or directs them to other information, or walks them through a couple of first steps? This is a good article describing the sorts of things you'll want to do if you're doing development. So when you get somebody who downloads your plugin, activate it, and you're onboarding them into your ecosystem to eventually hopefully sell them your services or extended plugins or whatever, the more user-friendly and easier you make it for them to accomplish their task, the more likely they are to move on from your freemium version to your premium version. Or in the case that's coming down the line, what did I call that? I gave it a name last week.
You're asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you. You know, the plugins that are they're not, it's not the freemium model, it's the test, not even the testing model. I gave it a name last week. I should have written that one down and coined it. It'll be my phrase when everyone calls it out and goes, oh, there it is. That guy over at WP Plugins knew this was coming down the pike. He's from the future.
Well, whenever you remember it, tack it on your board.
I will, or I'll go back and listen to last week's show, and then I'll get it. Okay, so anyway, this is a really good article for you to check out.
It is pretty awesome. Like I found when I was first getting into this that some of the plugins I would plug it in and then I just delete it because I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And having a guideline like this will definitely help.
Something they need to do, though. They got to put the guideline into effect. Okay, next one I have for you. This is the last piece. We're a little light on news this week. My mind has been elsewhere. And this is an article on how to clear your mind. How to clear your mind so you can do your best work. It's really it's an old article I've been sitting on for a while, and I rediscovered it this morning. And I was, oh, hey, I remember this. Maybe I should bring it to people's attention. They might want to read this. It's a great way to go through when you're getting ready to focus on some work, some things you should do to make sure you clear your mind for that work that requires focus, and you clear your desk and everything else out of the way so you can get that focus work done. It's a really good way to categorize, put stuff away, and organize your brain to get your stuff accomplished. Kind of like this article. I like articles like this from time to time because they help me reorganize myself and get myself back into proper mindsets of doing things. So anyway, go check this article out. It's a really great, useful tool.
Once you're done reading that article, down at the bottom here, it has how to keep your employees healthy while they're working from home, which it may not just... You don't have to read this and put it towards your employees. You can put it towards yourself too. And that article down at the bottom is really useful as well.
Oh, good. I'm not overly concerned about that myself, but...
I'm new to working at home, so it had a few tips in there for me.
Yeah, well, that's it. I've been working from home for 20 years, so... So it really makes no diff to me. It does take a long time to learn to work from home, though. It really does. It's not an easy task. It's a lot harder than people think it is.
There's so many things that you could do instead.
Uh-huh.
Like there's a beautiful couch right there.
Beautiful couch, nap time, go do the dishes, make dinner, all kinds of fun things to do besides work.
When I first started working at home, it kind of reminded me of when I was studying for my finals at school.
Yeah.
Everything else seems so much more important.
Yeah, I never had my house cleaner than when I had a paper due.
Exactly.
My house was never cleaner than when a paper was due for a class in college. All right, next thing we got for you is we like to talk to folks about the donor support of this show, everyone supporting this show. And first off, this show is a value for value model, meaning if you get any value out of it, please kick some value back. What's it worth to you? What's this show worth to you? Is it worth $5, $10? Is it worth some of your time creating some great clips? Is it worth time to help support the show by providing some artwork or anything of that sort? What's it worth to you? That is the value we're talking about. What value do you get out of this show? Provide some value back to help keep this show moving and growing and going forward. One way you can do that also is get out there, subscribe to the newsletter. The newsletter helps keep you apprised. We've been rejiggering the newsletter, getting it looking better, cleaner, easier to read, more valuable information in the newsletter. If you get the newsletter and you have tips for us on how to improve it, let us know. We'll improve it so that it's more usable for you, thereby providing value back. That's how you can provide value. One of the great ways you can provide value for us, of course, is...
We just need cash. I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.
That's true.
Absolutely. Just cash. That's what we need. If you can't afford cash, well, one of the great ways to do it is send us artwork for the show. Angel's been providing us a lot of great artwork, and this week's artwork is one he sent just for Amber.
Yay,
It's
love
a pair of dice.
Yay, thank you.
And it's got the lucky number 7 right up on top. So Angel sent this one, making sure to comment that he sent this one over just for Amber. It arrived actually this morning for the show as I was choosing the artwork. So thanks again, Angel. Greatly appreciate the artwork and the time you take to create it for us.
Yay, thank you. I love dice so much. They're so cool.
All right, and so we also like to acknowledge our executive producers of the show. And producers, the executive producers are those who come in $50 or more. Nobody's done that in a while, so we're just going to skip over to the next part. The producers out there, all those under $50, they remain anonymous, and we thank you very much. Small donations, there's a couple of you out there that have a couple of monthly donations. Send in an occasional buck or two here and there, so thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. And to those of you who hire me because you listen to the show, thanks a lot. That is as good as donating to the show. So I get support that way. Thank you very much. And you can support the show simply by going to wpplugins.com/donate. To donate to the show, go to the art generator to submit art, submit articles, news, information, plugin suggestions, reviews, all those things there. We're looking for that information. So let's move it along and get to the part where everyone shows up for the show. Off we go into the meat and potatoes, into the depths of plugin depravity. All right, so first off, we try to talk about the ClassicPress options. We haven't had any for a while. I haven't been doing any ClassicPress work, so I don't have time to go dwell into that zone. Still hoping that someone out there who uses ClassicPress will supply us some information. We'll take whatever you can get. So in the meantime, it's just the usual ClassicPress resources, ClassicPress Club News, the forum websites, Code Potent's websites, all of those areas. So moving into the WordPress that didn't really work so well. Let's wrap that one back to tongue up. All right, let's all right, now we're at it. WordPress plugins, what we have for WordPress plugins for you here. First off, the first one I've got for you is called Deposits and Partial Payments for WooCommerce. And this one here is a nice little plugin that allows you to take partial payments or full payment on products in your WooCommerce store. It's a plugin that's split in two pieces, the freemium and premium version. The freemium version allows people to make a deposit on a single order. Either they can a partial deposit on products or pay for it in full. They can't do both. The premium version allows them to add a deposit and regular products into one order, so they can do both. So there's a good split there for it. It is very useful if you've got something like temporary memberships or small fees, or you got products and allow people to put a deposit on it till paid in full, it gets shipped. All kinds of ways you could use this if you're running an e-commerce store through WooCommerce. Great little plugin. It's one I would suggest you check out if it's something that you can use in your particular world. Go check this out. It's called Deposits and Partial Payments for WooCommerce, and I give it a 4 dragon rating.
I never even thought about that as being a possibility online. Yeah. Doing a partial payment?
Oh, I'm sure people have, but this is the first time I've actually seen a plugin for it.
That's cool. All right, so the first one I've got is Select Delivery Dates Woo. Excuse me. For this one, it is a plugin designed for convenience of the customer. I wasn't able to fully test this one out, though it seems fairly straightforward. Bit of warning though, when you do go to plug it in, it is pretty far down the page. So don't give up if you don't see it within the first couple of rows when you're looking for it. It's there, it's just kind of hidden. It's a total freebie and it's brand spanking new. What you do is you download it and it just automatically becomes an option for your customers where they can choose a delivery day. Now if the general delivery date takes 8 to 12 business days, the customer can't say have it delivered the next day. What ends up happening is they are given a time frame in which the delivery can be made, and they get to choose what day they want it to be delivered to them, which would be really cool. Seems like a total steal right now. Hopefully it doesn't have any issues going on. I rate this at 5 dragons.
Good God, Amber, not another 5 dragon rating.
Sorry, had to do that. All right, next one I've got here for you.
I can't help it if I find all the good plugins.
Yes, I know. You're just too kind. Next one I have for you is called WP Image Sizes. Now, this can be a very useful plugin for you. What it's designed to do for you is it's designed to help you gain control of all the massive numbers of images that are created every time you upload an image to your WordPress website. You upload one image, and depending on your theme, it will create anywhere from 3 additional, which is the default in WordPress, 3 additional ones, which is the thumbnail, the square, and then a larger square. And then if your theme is there, it'll create multiple numbers. I've seen some themes create as many as 10 or 12 additional images once you upload one image. And then once you exit that theme, rebuild, all those images are still there taking up storage space. This is a plugin which can help you clean up that storage space, determine which images are created of all the options that are available for your theming system. Maybe you don't use certain size images ever for anything, and you don't need them being created. You can control that with this plugin. It will also allow you to get in and choose to have, if you get the premium version, the pro version, you can choose to have it recreate images on the fly. In other words, maybe you've got a certain size image and one page it forgot to create them. First time that page is loaded, it'll create that image again fresh and new for you. So it's a really great tool, very useful one. Because it does have a premium version, I have to slap it down and give it a 4 Dragon rating. But go check it out. It is called WP Image Sizes.
Seems like it could be really useful.
Yep.
And I've got...
Don't tell me, Emma. Don't tell me. It's a Halloween plugin.
It sure is. Come on, it's Halloween this weekend. I warned everyone I was going to be doing this all month, at least one. So this is Halloween Box. So this one, what it does for you is it turns your posts into like a black box, and it has some nice pumpkins at the bottom. It's gothic yet tasteful. Very simple. Another total freebie, and also brand new, which I was surprised. Guess I shouldn't be. It's close to Halloween, so all the Halloween plugins are coming up. It's pretty easy. You download it, activate it, and it just automatically does its own thing. I like it. It's easy, it's tasteful, and I rate it at 5 dragons.
Very nice.
Good God, Amber. Not another 5 dragon rating.
We're going to wear that one right out.
Yep.
All right. The next one I have for you here is called Order Barcode Plugin. This one here is another WooCommerce plugin, and what it does for you is it generates each and every individual order. It generates a unique barcode for each order. And this barcode can be used in multiple ways. One nice thing is it has integration with the WooCommerce PDF invoices and packing slips plugin, which is a pretty common plugin when you set up a WooCommerce store so that you can create PDF invoices and packing slips. So, and when it's done, it creates a unique barcode that can then be used in a scanning system for scanning and tracking purposes, for helping to keep a list of what your orders are, where they're at, and with a unique barcode, it makes them all that more unique and useful. Great little plugin. It is a brand new one, fresh out the window. It's only been out like a week or two. Nice little plugin. They've got a couple things left to deal with on it, but you might want to go check this one out. So I give it a 4 dragon rating.
Barcode plugin.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the last one I have...
Don't tell me, Emma. Don't tell me. It's a Halloween plugin.
No, actually, it's not.
No? Oh,
No.
darn.
It's not a Halloween one, although I did find it because I was searching for Halloween. It has a Halloween option, but it's actually designed as a gift one. So it has a Halloween option, but also has Easter and like everything. It has all the major holidays, and it's got % sign and a little gift box, all kinds of things. It's called Gift Hunt. So yes, it could be a Halloween one. It does have a pro version, but the free version is pretty awesome. Sorry, I got lost there.
Brain loss.
Brain loss, yep. It's the new little things you got. They're messing me up, man.
Yeah, throwing it off.
Coincidence? I think not.
So what this does, as I've mentioned before, it creates a gift pop-up for anyone who spends long enough on your site. So it doesn't just automatically pop up when people get to your site. People actually have to be looking at your site and going through things, and then eventually it pops up. I've seen this a couple times. You don't need to have WooCommerce or any specific theme either. It works with WordPress. What happens is the person will click on the gift. They will fill out a form with their info, which you can then collect to grow your business. And they get a gift of your choosing. So it can be very useful for both parties here. It's a bit of a long form for you to fill out when you first download it, but it's worth it because once you fill it out, that's all it is. And you can change the little icon that appears on the person's screen depending on the season, or you can just deactivate it for when you don't want to have it going on. I definitely recommend this for people who want to grow their business. And also the fact that you can make it fit any season is pretty cool. But happy Halloween, everyone. Gotta say it.
And what was the rating on this one?
4 dragons.
There we go. Well, that's it. You're in. This is the last show before Halloween, so
Yep.
No more Halloween plugins. I guess you can start working on Thanksgiving and Christmas plugins.
Nah, they're not nearly as entertaining. I only like Halloween. It's the one holiday I actually like.
Yeah, it's not terribly a holiday. It's just a day of going out and begging for candy.
Yeah, it's my holiday.
Oh, okay. All right, well, that's all we got for the plugins on it. And this show currently brought to you by...
Are you tired of the same old web hosting? Not having the resources you need to run your website properly? Having a lack of control? Then you need johnoverall.com web hosting, providing you with all the resources you need to smoothly run your WordPress website or ClassicPress website. With strict limits on the number of clients allowed per server, johnoverall.com provides high quality, fast server performance. Visit johnoverall.com for web hosting that won't slow you down.
Absolutely. I got to change that up. It's actually exclusive web hosting. It won't slow you down. Yeah, we do have a little bit of listener feedback this week with a bit of a question. So off we go with that. And then it goes, hello from Ladysmith John. Hope you are well down in Vic. I continue to be entertained by your podcast with your daughter. Great addition. What is your opinion of the WordFence plugin? I was told once by a web host that it is a resource hog, but I'm watching their weekly YouTube live and considering bringing it back into my recommended plugins. I used to have it on a lot of sites, but removed it. Any advice is appreciated, or maybe if you have an anti-malware favorite plugin, thanks, all the best. Paul. All right, Paul, well, I did send him an email back and let him know what I thought, and it is WordFence. I've been using it for years, way back, probably 5 or 6 years at least, maybe longer. I thought it was great. They did have a resource issue for a while. I learned how to adjust all the settings to eliminate the resource problem. And not too long ago, about 6 months or a year or so ago, they finally figured that out on themselves for the startup and the setup of it to have certain things turned off to keep it from sucking through resources. I did a great interview with, I can't remember her name, from WordFence earlier this year. You can find that in the interview section of the website. And it's a really great interview, and we actually touched on that particular problem in the interview, and she explained what they'd done to address that issue. It really doesn't have a resource issue problem anymore, and of course, WordFence, I find it to be a very useful tool. I even use it when I'm cleaning up a hacked website that comes to me, their site's been hacked, and I clean up everything else. I'll run WordFence through it, and sometimes it'll find an occasional file that I missed in my cleanups. And it does help prevent attacks against the site. Nothing's perfect, but it does slow things down, stop them, notifies you of issues. Sometimes it can be a little over enthusiastic in its notifications, but it is a great plugin, and I've been using it for quite some time. So I recommend using WordFence. It does its job well. Okay, and we do have a contest, and I like to give acknowledgments to Simple Giveaways, which powers our plugin, which is the plugin that powers our contest. They were kind enough to provide us with a premium pro version of their plugin, and it works very well for running all kinds of contests on your site, collecting email addresses and additional information. This plugin has grown up quite nicely. I've been using it since it was relatively new. I might have even been using it when it was listed first as a brand new plugin in the WordPress repository. And I've watched it grow up, so it's been a really great plugin. So I do want to thank Charlie for coming to the aid of the show and helping us out with our contests and getting them organized. We now have at least 2 or 3 more contests all ready to go after this one is over. So the current one we have running runs from October 22nd until November 3rd. The winner will be announced on November 5th, and I am so thrilled to see how many people have been entering the contest. It is a license for Fluent CRM, a self-hosted email marketing automation plugin for WordPress. You can manage your leads and customers, email campaigns, automated email sequences, learner and affiliate management, and monitor user activities and many more in one place without ever having to leave your WordPress dashboard. A few of the features are email campaign management, email sequencing, 360-degree view while integrating with several third-party tools and a few webhook connectors. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I said right there, but it sure sounds cool. All right, this is a lifetime license. The lifetime licenses are not available to purchase. So the value of this giveaway is not just 1 year license. This is every year. It's $129 a year for life. This is a unique giveaway item. So you'll want to sign up to see if you can win this contest. Tell others, bring them in, man. Listen to the show, tell them all about it. You want more information, go to Fluent CRM's website and find out more about this plugin. To enter, all you got to do is go to wpplugins.com/contests and check out Fluent CRM's plugin and sign up to win the free license. Okay, so before we dive into the Q&A section, let's cover off a couple last minute things. The plugins I covered in this episode were deposits and partial payments for WooCommerce, which I gave a 4 to. The WP image sizes, which I gave a 4 to. The order barcode plugin, which I gave a 4 to.
And I covered select delivery dates Woo, which I gave a 5. Halloween box, which I gave a 5. And gift hunt, which I gave a 4 to.
And a couple of other quick reminders. I want to let everyone know we're going to have a special guest next week on the show. We'll have a third party here. I forgot I even offered that up, and it seems somebody signed up for it, took advantage of it, and they booked themselves in to be a special guest on the show. They've even provided their plugins they want to bring to the table. And granted, they're plugins that they develop, but, I really don't care. You want to showcase your own stuff? If you got 3 of them to showcase, bring them along. So this is what it's going to be. It'll be entertaining. It'll be interesting to have a third party on the show. We haven't had a third guest in a long time. So this will be lots of fun. So tune in next week for the fun of it. No meetups planned at the moment. We'll let you know when they come back online. If you'd like to be on an interview show, go check out the links in the show notes and get interviewed. You want to find out more about how insane I am? Go check out theroguestavern.com. All right, let's move into. We need a question. We still haven't done. Oh, here we go. Here's your question and answer segment.
Shysters show up and take advantage of people's goodwill and generosity.
Sure. I suppose that one works.
Works today.
I don't like as much as the one you had last week, but I don't remember what it was. So.
I don't either, man. We'll have to. No, that wasn't it. No. No, I don't remember. I've got so many random links, and I changed quite a few of them this morning, making room for the new ones. So anyway, let's go. Off we go with the Q&A segment of the show, and don't forget we'll split this midstream, and it'll be cut off for those of you listening on the podcast, and you'll have to come to the YouTube version to hear the rest of it.
All right. So the first question I have for you is, what exactly is caching?
Caching. All right. Caching, that's where you reach in your pocket, you pull out that winkly bit stuff and those coins. That's caching. And you cash out and leave. No? Okay. All right. Caching for WordPress. Well, actually caching for the internet. There's multiple types of caching out there. And the caching systems all basically work the same. They take data, because when they have to get data from the database, it takes longer to get the data. They have to make a call to the database. Database has to look it up. It has to retrieve it and return it. Well, caching goes, hey, this data is called a lawful lot. It says, okay, I've got this data. I'm going to stick it in this special storage spot. So next time someone asks for it, I just show that to them, and I don't have to go all the way back to the database and get that information. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Well, let's explain a little bit more about what the types of caching there is then that is used to give what exactly is caching. There's memory caching, where the data is stored in active memory on a server, which isn't always reliable because active memory is often wiped on servers as it goes along. There's disk caching, which it's stored in different sections of a hard disk cache, and that's a little more reliable. What's more often the case, in particular with WordPress, is what happens is WordPress is a PHP system, but what's delivered to your website or to your web browser is HTML. So when it goes and gets all the information from the database, it combines it with all the PHP files and it produces an HTML file, and that's what your web browser looks at. Well, what they do is, with the caching systems in place, they take that HTML file and they store it as an actual file name. Like, say, let's go with front page of your website. They store it as front page in a particular file structure in your WordPress uploads folder under caching. So the next time someone hits the front page, it goes and looks in that file for the front page, and it goes, how old is that file? Well, that file is only like a few hours old. It's still fresh. Let's show that to them.
Okay.
And thereby it saves seconds over. It goes, oh, that stuff is several days old. We need to get fresh data. And it goes all the way back to the database, gets the information, combines it back with the PHP files, and then turns it all out, spits it all back out, and sends it back to an HTML file being stored in the storage spot in the database.
Okay, so that's what the caching is on your computer, but what about caching on WordPress?
That is the caching on WordPress.
Okay,
that's not your computer.
Oh, okay.
On your computer, it's a whole nother thing. So that'll take us into another segment of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it right here, because once I answer all this will be done. So we're going to split it right here. We'll play the outro from my girl. Let her take us out. And you want to hear the rest? Stick around after the outgoing credits, and you will catch the rest of it. For those of you on the podcast, you got to wander all the way over to our YouTube channel and listen to the other half of this. So let's do that. And as she takes it out, it is time for me to get my tequila shot out of the way. I do like my tequila shot. It's a great new habit. Well, maybe habit's not the right word for that. Tradition. There we go. It's better than habit. So let my girl take us on out.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
Alrighty, so back to the question of how's it work on your computer?
So what you explained was how it worked on WordPress then?
Yeah, it's where it stores the files on WordPress. It stores it in your WordPress file structure is where it stores the HTML pages. Okay, your computer or your browser for caching is a little bit different. in what it does. If you do any sort of development, you'll begin to understand the one thing you have to do on a continuous basis is clear cache.
Yeah.
Okay, that cache is a whole lot different. That cache is also determined. Web pages, websites tell the browser what files it should cache and how long it should keep them local.
Okay.
And usually what gets cached on your local computer, like if you go look in the cache folder of your computer, you'll see CSS scripts, you'll see HTML, not HTML documents, but you'll see image documents, CSS, JavaScripts, and cookies, and all kinds of other things stored in your cache folder. And in particular, the biggest ones are CSS scripts and JavaScripts that are stored locally. And of course, the reason they're stored locally on your computer, the first time you visit those pages, they're stored in the cache on your computer. And that's because the computer is assuming you're going to visit that page again. So next time you visit your page, it goes to the cache and goes, well, we already got this file, this file, this file, so we only have to get this.
That makes sense.
From the computer. So it saves download time, thereby it displays the page much faster the second time around. But if you're developing, what happens is you've stored that CSS file that you've just changed on that website you're working on, and you hit refresh and you're still looking at everything. You go, I know I changed that. And then you go, oh, duh, dump your cache, because once you dump your cache, now your computer is forced to re-download those files from the website. So you get fresh files on your computer on your website. That's what the cache on your website is for, is to speed up for you viewing it. Your phone does the same thing. All browsers do that.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine who thinks he's a complete computer whiz, he said that...
They're the most dangerous kind.
Yeah. He usually breaks things.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out how to fix them.
Anyway, what's he say?
He told me that if my computer's running slow, I should dump the internal cache of my computer. I'm not sure what that meant. So what do you have any idea what he meant by that?
No, and I had a computer store and I worked on computers for several years. So I have no idea. There is a caching. It's not exactly a cache. It's a temp folder in Windows. Windows has a temp folder where it stores a bunch of files and stuff that's being used, and sometimes it gets corrupted. And yes, sometimes it does slow down your computer. And if you dump that folder, empty that folder out, things will run faster until it builds up again. And it's supposed to self-clean, but it doesn't always.
Okay, so that's probably what he was talking about then.
That would make more sense, because it's not really a caching folder per se as far as caching goes. It's a temp folder that works sort of like a caching folder.
Okay.
And it does create problems over time. I vaguely remember it now. I sold my computer store 11 years ago, so I was really happy to be out of that industry. I got out of there just before it imploded. So.
All right, well, that is all the questions I have for today.
All right, well, that's everything we've got, folks. I don't see any burning questions coming from anyone in the chat window. Thanks to the folks that showed up here live and listened to us. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your day. And we're going to call this one a wrap for today. And we'll catch you next week with our new lovely set of things. Which one didn't I use? Actually, I think I used them all but this one.
It's time for WordPress Plugins.
Nope, I used that one. Let's try this one. There it is. This one.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress Plugins A to Z, not Z.
I do like that. All right, so thanks a lot, folks. You all take care now. Bye-bye.
Take care.